Tonight, one man is in the hospital after a plane crash in Fulton.
Our reporter Matt Green talks about student concerns at Little Page Dining Hall.
And Julian Assange has been arrested at the Ecuadorian embassy in London.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Jacob Manro.
And I'm Caroline Evans.
WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange was brought out of Ecuador's embassy in London this morning and arrested. After 7 years there, charges have been filed in an extradition request made by the United States. Julian Assange will remain in custody until at least May 2nd, where the extradition hearing will take place. Assange arrested in London Thursday and charged in the U.S. with one count of conspiracy to commit computer intrusion.
The Justice Department in a press release says the indictment alleged that in March 2010, Assange engaged in a conspiracy with Chelsea Manning, a former intelligence analyst in the U.S. Army, to assist Manning in cracking a password to classified DoD computer systems. The indictment was signed last March. The charge related to hacking rather than publishing. More U.S. charges are expected. Assange has been in Ecuador's embassy since 2012, and they granted him asylum as he faced sexual assault allegations in Sweden. Sweden has since dropped this case, but could reopen it.
We are joined on the desk with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Kayla Wheeler. Kayla, how's the weather looking?
Well, we have been seeing passing showers moving through the area lately. However, I don't think that's going to last very much longer. We might be seeing just a few more little blips of rain moving through the area. But as of right now, we're seeing 38 degrees here in Oswego, staying in the high 30s and low 40s throughout the area. And as for the rest of tonight, we're not getting much colder, low of 38 degrees and cloudy skies. Now, we're going to see our first spring storm tomorrow, and I'll let you know exactly when we are going to see it. That'll be in my forecast later. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Kayla. Student employees at Little Page Dining Hall are expressing concerns over the conditions they work in. Matt Green reports.
I was concerned because that's not what I see when I come into Little Page.
Little Page Dining Hall is one of 5 residential dining halls on SUNY Oswego's campus. Managed under the direction of Auxiliary Services, it is the largest student employer on campus with over 500 student employees. Situated between Oneida and Onondaga residence halls, Little Page Dining Center serves over 1,000 students a day. A letter was sent out by Auxiliary Services addressing a student who came forward on behalf of multiple students, many of whom had problems with the way managers treated them during their shifts. According to students, the unidentified managers allegedly presented themselves with bad attitudes and would frequently take out their frustration on student employees.
Take bad vibes. Me as a person, the whole thing about bad vibes is I don't want to be around in a workplace that's negative, and sometimes it gets a little bit too negative.
In a response to the allegations, Oswego's Director of Dining Services, Ruth Stevens, sent a mass letter to the employees of Little Page asking for feedback and to provide resources, including herself, for students who are unhappy in an effort to maintain a positive work environment. Students can choose to remain confidential.
You know, I can learn, our managers can learn, we can become better at what we do, we can find better ways of doing things. I think communication is the key, and I think that really...
Matt Green, WTOP 10.
To give customer feedback to Little Page or any other residential dining center on campus, fill out a comment card after your next meal.
Emergency crews are responding to a plane crash on North Fulton Street in Fulton this afternoon. According to Fulton Police Chief Orlo Green, the passenger of the aircraft crashed about 2 miles from the Oswego County Airport, where the pilot, Michael Simpson, was flying from Malone, New York. Simpson was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening conditions. It is believed that the plane lost power and Simpson attempted to make an emergency landing in the street. The investigation is still ongoing.
The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association confirmed on Wednesday they are interested in moving forward with a proposal to establish a marine sanctuary in Lake Ontario. The proposed Great Lake Ontario National Marine Sanctuary would encompass counties coastal to Lake Ontario, including Oswego County. According to NOAA officials, the designation process is not officially a go yet, but is eligible to become a national marine sanctuary. They also said preservation and exploration of the nearly 80 shipwrecks located within the proposed sanctuary will be the foundation of the application.
The Fulton School District could lose up to $1 million as a result of a state fine over a missing piece of paper. Fulton Superintendent Brian Polvino says a contract between the school district and the Golden Sun bus service could not be found. The school district was notified about the fine a year and a half ago, but were not required to pay any of it so far. The school board president, Robin Griffin, has urged caution, especially because they have not received a formal notice to pay the fine just yet.
Oswego County Child Advocacy Center is once again participating in Pinwheels for Prevention. Eric Dziergowski reports.
Pinwheels for Prevention is a national campaign that multiple organizations take part in order to spread awareness of child abuse through communities and get the conversation started that children need to be looked out for not only by their families, but their community as well.
The pinwheel gardens that you see throughout the community are intended to start a conversation. We would like people to see those and to have a conversation amongst themselves, amongst their friends, and especially with their children.
In honor of April being National Child Abuse Prevention Month, Oswego's Child Advocacy Center has set out to spread awareness through Oswego County by placing blue and white pinwheels around the area.
The Child Advocacy Center is not well known throughout Oswego County. However, thanks to people like Craig Stewart, hopefully more people will get involved and be passionate towards this organization like him.
It's phenomenal, the teamwork in this building. It takes a number of people doing their thing, and they come together and they really help out these unfortunate kids. So I'm very impressed. So if I can do a little bit to help out, then I do.
Craig and his fiancee Carrie placed the pinwheels around Oswego County to spread awareness to communities, because spreading awareness is the first step to preventing a child's abusive situation.
It's a terrible thing if a kid has to experience these things, and research has shown that children who have adverse childhood experiences like this happen to them grow up to have other difficulties later in life.
The first step to awareness is prevention. If you would like to volunteer or learn more about this organization, you can visit their website, oswegocac.org.
To learn more or to spread awareness, you can visit the Child Advocacy website. Governor Cuomo says he will support a bill providing free tuition at SUNY schools for the children of military personnel killed in the line of duty. Despite being blocked by Assembly Democrats on the Higher Education Committee, Cuomo says it's possible the bill could reach his desk this year. The legislation would grant free tuition and room and board to the children and spouses of Gold Star families at all SUNY and CUNY schools.
Downtown Syracuse may rebuild a new district celebrating the Oswego and Erie Canals. The Erie Canal Museum would be the focus of the new district, and it would be located where the two canals originally met. The building of the new district would offer a new access point to the north side of downtown, and it was proposed as a solution to the issue of what to do with the downtown section of Interstate 81. The plan would rebuild both Oswego Boulevard and Pearl Street.
An arbitration panel ordered the Seneca Nation to pay the state $255 million in lapsed casino revenue. The decision was sent from the American Arbitration Association to a private lawyer in Manhattan representing the state and a lawyer for the Seneca Nation. The compact said if the dispute between the state and the tribe did not resolve through direct conversation, it will be handled by another arbitration panel. It remains uncertain if the dispute is actually over.
Coming up later tonight, Democratic attorney Greg Craig is indicted on charges connected to the Mueller case.
And a suspect is arrested for the Louisiana church burnings.
This is WTOP 10 Nightly News. We'll be right back.
We believe in patriotism. We believe in our country. For 100 years, veterans have been impacting our nation through the American Legion. Learn more at legion.org/webelieve.
It's back and better than ever. One student can win up to $25 in cash. All on Oswego's favorite game show, Sing to Win! Every Sunday night at 9, only on WTOP 10 TV.
Welcome back from the break. I'm your Storm Team 10 meteorologist, Kayla Wheeler. Today we saw a high of 58 degrees, just 3 degrees above the average, so it looks like we're pretty on track this spring. Now, as of today, we saw these passing showers moving through the area. They're not going to be affecting us very much longer. Like I said earlier, we might be seeing some tiny showers of rain moving through, but that's about it. We're looking at cloudy skies for the rest of tonight. And as of right now, 38 degrees here in Oswego. Again, high 30s and low 40s throughout the area. And as you zoom out to the rest of the state, it looks pretty much the same with the exception of a couple areas such as Jamestown at 51 and Albany at 47. Now, timing out tomorrow for you as far as temperatures, I've got one word for you, and we're getting warm, people. This is good news if you want spring to come just like me. Now, tomorrow we're seeing up to 65 degrees at 3 p.m. and staying warm throughout the rest of today. Timing out that spring shower I talked about earlier. Tomorrow morning, in the early morning, probably around your commute, we're going to be seeing some scattered showers moving through the area, so make sure you're watching out as you're driving, which is clearing out into partly cloudy skies into tomorrow afternoon, but it won't stay like that for too long. We're seeing this storm moving into the area, possibly bringing heavy rain, thunder and lightning, so make sure you're taking caution on your evening commute. But it won't stay too long, moving throughout the area, possibly by around 7:30 p.m. and into tomorrow evening, around, again, Friday around 10 p.m. We'll be seeing those residual showers coming through that storm, moving through the area into partly cloudy skies for the rest of Saturday. Now, as for tonight, again, low of 38 degrees, cloudy skies, winds coming out of the east-southeast, kind of windy, 10 to 20 miles per hour. Into tomorrow, again, that high of 66 degrees with sun in the morning, that storm coming through in the afternoon, and into tomorrow night, cooling down to 48 degrees with those residual showers moving through the area. But timing out your next 7 days, again tomorrow, that high warm of 66 degrees, cooling down a little bit into the weekend, into the 40s, with rain early next week and into the rest of the week, warming up back into the 50s. That's it for my forecast. Stay tuned for more news and sports after the break. You're watching WTOP 10 Nightly News.
Guys, I don't feel so good. Shouldn't have had that chili for lunch.
When you are in space, you can't run down to the store to buy parts. You have to improvise with what you have on your mission. Making is when there is something new that was not in existence at the beginning of the day. Okay. It's an incredible sense of accomplishment when you have made something. That's why I make. Now I want to hear why you make.
Share your own Why I Make story today. Visit whyimake.org.
Hello?
Josh, the stream's not working. We need you to fix it right now.
The stream's down? I'll be right there.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Democratic attorney Greg Craig has been indicted for making false statements and concealing material information in connection with work he performed for Ukraine stemming from special counsel Robert Mueller's investigation. The indictment says Craig was deterred from registering under the Foreign Agents Registration Act out of his desire to hide that a third party paid the firm $4 million to assist the prosecution of the former Prime Minister of Ukraine. Craig is scheduled to enter a plea in federal court Friday afternoon.
Investigators say over the course of 10 days, the son of the sheriff's deputy intentionally set fires to 3 historically black Louisiana churches. Prosecutor charged 21-year-old Holden Matthews with arson. But, as Kristen Holmes explains, the motive behind the fires may have been music.
After 10 days of terror in Louisiana,
this community is safe again.
The arrest of a 21-year-old man in connection with the string of fires at historically black churches in St. Landry's Parish.
It cannot be justified or rationalized. These were evil acts.
Holden Matthews, charged with 3 counts of simple arson of a religious building, is the son of a local law enforcement official.
He was shocked and hurt, as any father would be. And my heart went out to him yesterday. When we notified him to come in, and I talked to him, he was in terrible shape.
The investigation into motive is still ongoing, but law enforcement officials say they're looking into a connection to the genre of music called black metal that has a history associated with church burnings. 3 churches were set ablaze over the span of 10 days.
I started having emotions like, did they get everybody? Or who would do something like that to a church?
The NAACP labeled the fires domestic terrorism. And while the FBI and ATF were aiding the investigation, some local pastors had begun sleeping in their churches as a precaution. Now, the community ready to put this behind them.
It's time to rebuild. It's time for healing. It's time for strengthening of our congregation and our families. And now we can go forward.
I'm Kristen Holmes reporting.
Louisiana's governor also said hate is not a Louisiana value and violence has no place in our communities.
Democratic Representative Ilhan Omar is receiving support from Democratic colleagues in regards to a New York Post headline targeting her remarks about 9/11. Omar is one of 2 Muslim women in Congress and claims the New York Post and owner Rupert Murdoch is stoking hate, fear, and division into the public. Omar and supporters claim the New York Post knows exactly what it is doing, and by taking quotes out of context, they're evoking painful imagery to spread hate and endanger the life of Omar.
Celebrity attorney Michael Avenatti has been indicted by a federal grand jury in California on 36 counts, including embezzlement, wire fraud, and tax evasion. All of his counts were connected to theft of millions of dollars from 5 of Avenatti's clients. This comes 2 weeks after he was accused of attempting to extort more than $20 million from the sportswear company Nike.
Armed robbers were able to steal a large cash amount from an Australian airline at an airport in Albania. According to the Albanian State Police, the masked robbers broke onto the runway of Tirana International Airport through a fire service entrance and stole a shipment of money destined for Vienna. During a police chase, they were able to arrest 4 attackers, and 1 was shot in the head, while armed with an assault weapon and a grenade.
Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison announced earlier today the country will be electing what could be its 7th leader in just over a decade. Morrison, the former Tourism Australia director, and his centre-right Liberal National Coalition government will be running for a re-election on the platform of tax cuts and economic stability. Australians are able to go to the polls and vote on May 18th.
Coming up in sports, Zachary Haynes.
Zach, can you give us a quick preview?
Thanks, guys. We got a lot of exciting games from high school baseball, college lacrosse, and we have 2 leagues getting ready for their playoff season. I'll have more coming up after the break.
today? Pretty good.
Yeah, I thought he called a pretty fair game.
Come on, man, that was a weak call.
Yeah, man, that ref is totally soft.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome to W2P10 Sports. I'm Zachary Haynes filling in tonight. We have an exciting weekend full of playoff basketball and hockey. We also got your Oswego teams in full swing of their spring sports as well. But before we get into any of that, we're taking a look at a rising star here in Central New York. Being selected to an elite camp is a huge honor for many players, but being selected to a Team USA camp is a whole other level. I got the chance to sit down with J.J. Starling and his head coach as he's looking to become sort of a bigger thing than himself. 1 out of 26 players. That's how many were selected to attend a Team USA camp for the class of 2022. J.J. Starling, a freshman guard for Baldwinsville's varsity team, is one of those select few recognized nationwide by Team USA scouts.
I'm just astonished because, not many kids have, this opportunity. So to be, one of few kids in the country to be invited to this camp is just amazing. So I amaze myself doing this.
This is not the first time Starling has been recognized by Team USA scouts. Back in October, Starling participated in a USA camp and got recognized by multiple scouts describing him as very efficient in transition and making good decisions leading to easy baskets. However, the scouts also mentioned Starling's defense, which they described as a problem with his length and desire to guard. Despite the criticism, Mike Lewis, varsity head coach, is proud of the strides Starling has made in his second season on varsity.
It's hard to believe sometimes that he's a freshman. You kind of step back and just kind of realize that he is. But, I mean, when he's on the court, he's just a difference maker. To be named one of the top 26 and going into the final cut, he deserves at this point everything he's achieved. He's well-deserved of it.
Although freshman year is almost over, Starling has his summer planned out, hitting the gym and working hard.
I'm going to be in a lot of AAU tournaments. College coaches are there watching you play. Great competition. I'm also going to be doing a lot of workouts, in the gym. I'm just trying to get better for the season coming up.
While there are some necessary improvements, Starling will have a long career ahead of him to improve on all of his skills. Zachary Haynes, W2P10. Starling is expected to play in a few summer tournaments, including for Nike and the Amateur Athletic Union. This is all to get ready for his sophomore year at varsity. The Oswego High School baseball team has started the year with a bit of a cold streak, but spring is coming. The boys team is looking to bounce back after starting 0-2 on the season. Oswego is on the road tonight taking on Cicero North Syracuse. This is a rescheduled game against the 1-0 North Stars. Players for the boys team include Gavin Newland and Dane Richardson as the team's lead hitters. They will also be home this Saturday to take on the Mexico Tigers as they try to climb back into the SCAC Empire Conference. The Oswego State men's lacrosse team continues their undefeated record in the SUNYAC with a win over the Potsdam Bears. The Bears struck net first with a goal from Kyle Smith, but it wouldn't take long for the Lakers to shake off the nerves as they would score 3 unanswered goals in the first period, including one from Tim Schaaf. The Lakers and Bears would continue to duke it out by trading goal after goal after goal until Bobby Emerson would push the Lakers' lead with 2 goals in less than a minute of each other, giving the 11-9 victory over the Bears. Tim Schaaf would go on to earn himself a hat trick for the game, The Lakers hit the turf this Saturday against the Plattsburgh Cardinals with face-off at 1 p.m. Although the Yankees are the second in the AL East, they are still falling behind. The 7-5 Yankees are currently on a 3-game losing streak after dropping their most recent series against the Astros. Their top hitter, DJ LeMahieu, is hitting a team best with .410. So far this season, the Yankees are ready for a 9-day home stretch against the White Sox, the Royals, and their infamous rivals, the Red Sox. The NBA regular season has ended, and the playoffs are here. Every team is fighting for their chance for the finals, including Golden State, Boston, and Brooklyn. Brooklyn has been led by D'Angelo Russell this season and have managed to blow everyone away with their post-All-Star break performance. Heading down to the city of brotherly love to take on the number 3 seed in the East, the 76ers. The team is led by Joel Embiid and Jimmy Butler, but don't let the big men fool you, as these two broke even on their regular season series. Another league that is getting their playoffs underway is the NHL. The hockey world was more than excited than ever, and were treated to some intense games, including the Islanders winning a thrilling game over the Penguins. The Islanders would take the lead first with a goal from Jordan Eberle in the first period, but eventually Pittsburgh would be able to keep moving on from there. As you can see there, they're moving around there, and you see that the Islanders are moving to passing the puck around, gets the easy goal in front of the net by the goalie, and that's how the game is going to go for the rest of it, as Pittsburgh is able to keep up the scoring right there and keep up the pace. You see there, Pittsburgh, it goes in there, and they're going to end that period 2-1 to the Islanders. They'll eventually go into overtime, but the Islanders will eventually win in overtime with a stunning 4-3 victory.
Wow. Makes me wish Oswego had. That's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for our practical improv at 10.
Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
Pretty good today, pretty good.
You know, yeah, I thought he called a pretty fair game. Come on, man, that was a weak call.
Yeah, man, that ref is totally soft.
You might not know everyone in your community, but if you did, you'd see that people in recovery from mental and substance use disorders are all around. Reach out for support and begin your recovery journey. Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen families and communities.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referrals for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.